Okay, Great Divide Tours have organized two tour groups from Lake Chittapine to explore Snowy River and Victoria High Country from this side. So, Group 1 will follow Barry Way, whereas Group 2 will go in opposite direction, cross Murray River, go into the forest and come back the Snowy River way, Barry Way, and come here. So the two tour groups were designed to go in opposite direction. But tour group 2 found out that the Murray River at Tumgroggin camp is overflowing. High level, too fast, impossible. You had to drive across the river, no bridge. So they abandoned that plan. They decided to follow Group 1 with a bit of time lag. So we belong to the Group 1. So we took Barry Way. Tarmac runs out. First look out, air down the tires, and some more sightseeing and lunch, cross New South Wales border. Okay, while we are around this area, we'll just quickly look at Snowy River. Snowy River runs somewhere around that area, that way, goes into Lake Chittapine through a dam, comes out and flows around here and comes this way, and Snowy River Road runs alongside of the river. The river was there first. So the river runs like this, and from here it goes south to Tasman Sea. Anyway, we have come up to this. We have some more sightseeing, and by the time we came here at the entrance of Limestone Road to go to tonight's camp, there's a sign here, road closed, and there are so many trucks and road workers there. One comes running to us and says, road closed, cannot go back. Those are his words. And he says, there's a huge hole developed by natural water stream and landslide, and road is impossible. So we are stranded here facing two challenges. The first one is we have to find an alternative campsite if we can't get here for tonight, and for tomorrow night we have to get to Bukwang Hut through the forests and trails and tracks. So these two challenges are in front of us, and we are stranded here waiting for the second group to come and join us. While we are stranded and waiting, let's dive deep into our cameras and find out what we recorded the whole day, starting from Chittapine all the way up to this point at the entrance of Limestone Road. We are camped somewhere around this place, and by evening we have to get to Bakwang Hut, which is here. So our two group leaders got together and figured out a solution for this. What happened was, we were waiting in Bruthen, and we got the message that the second group has started from the campsite, but they have a medical emergency. So the message was, the second group leader and that car, another car, will go to a hospital somewhere here, and rest of their crew will join our crew and follow us to Bakwang Hut. So they did that and followed with us. We had lunch at Omeo. Then, as I said before, we went to Benambra and aired down the tires, and we hit the track. So, well, we were in the back of our minds, we were thinking about the two cars that went to hospital, but we had to focus on the road because the going got harder and harder as we passed the limestone road and got into Misery Road and Trail. Okay, so this is limestone road coming from here all the way here and comes to Benambra. So we got it from the other side and we got up to this place, and this is where the Misery Trail starts. Well, the road, some of them is called road and some of them are trail, and it is just too steep in some places and shale rocks, so the tires have to be taken care of. So we came across this place, which is critical to remember, and turned left at Bakwang track, and we came to the campsite, which we camped on the right hand side here. Actual Bakwang Hut is on this side here, but we had a very nice campsite with water stream running behind our camps, so it was really good. And let's go back and see some of the images that we captured during our journey from this campsite all the way back here. Welcome to day 3 of our adventure. In the morning at Bakwang Hut, I made sure it's 20 psi cold, and the day started with Bakwang Track, Mount Hope Road, Tom Grogging Track, Buenba Road. Up to this point, we could do 4-wheel drive high range, manual shift. Once we got into Mount Gibbo Track, it is 4-wheel drive low range. Shale rocks, steep track, wheel articulation, mud pits, ridgeline driving, you name it. Mount Gibbo, Mount Anderson, continue along and go into Mount Pinibar Track. The summit is beautiful. It's absolutely stunning views. We had lunch here and returned back. Steep coming down. We took Wheelers Creek Road, abandoned logging track. High range 4-wheel driving. We could reach speeds of up to say 40 kilometers, anywhere between 20 to 40. The only catch is we are still traveling halfway up the mountain, and in the corners the washouts sometimes are huge. You have to come to stand still, and sometimes somebody has to spot to get out of it. Otherwise it's easy going, not much shale rocks or articulation. Come to Buenba Road all the way and took Mount Hope Road and Bakwang Track back to camp. Let's go and see the images we captured about our adventure, and of course the reward that we got in terms of beautiful scenery and of course adrenaline rush. Come in, let's dive deep in.
Stop there and take a photo if you'd like. It's not a bad
Oh my
spot.
god.
என்னாச்சு?
நம்மளே பூச்சியா வந்துருச்சு. பூச்சி.
Hello, welcome to our fourth and final day of our adventurous tour, four-wheel driving and camping trip. Bakwang Hut. Our group leader Cam, as usual, gave us a briefing before start. He also read out Banjo Patterson's poem, The Man from Snowy River. Well, after all that, we took Bakwang Track, Mount Hope Road, and then Tom Grogan Track. Is unlike yesterday, it's not that difficult as Mount Gibbo Track or Mount Pennybar Track. This Tom Grogan Track was still ridgeline driving, little bit of shale and some mud, steep, but not as severe as yesterday. It's only a few vehicles coming opposite on a single line track becomes hard to pass. Apart from that, no big challenge. And we drove to Dogman Hut where we rested the cars, brakes especially. And of course, I have got extended tubing from differentials and transmission into airbox, and airbox is connected to snorkel. Yet I like this idea of resting the car so that heated car parts won't suck in water when we cross the Murray River here through the seals. So we had a bit of briefing on water crossing here, and then we crossed Murray River, went into Top Grogan campsite, had lunch, aired up. Some people went into the Murray River, took bath, some did yoga, and then we all did this tarmac road trip up to Dead Horse Gap where we had our final meeting. And after this, we all went our own way to Jindabyne, and that's the end of the trip. Let's go back and look what we have captured with images, our imagination. So yeah, let's dive deep in.
There was movement at the station, for the word had passed around that the colt from Old Regret had got away. You're welcome to talk along with me or sing along with me if you like. And he joined the Wild Bush Horses, who was worth £1,000. So all the cracks had gathered to the fray, and all the tried and noted riders of the stations near and far had mustered at the homestead overnight. For the wild bushmen love hard riding where the wild bush horses are, and the stockmen snuffed the battle with delight. There was Harrison who made his pile when Pardon won the cup, the old man with his hair as white as snow. But few could ride beside him when his blood was fairly up, for he would go wherever horse and man could go. And Clancy of the Overflow came down to lend a hand. No better horseman ever held the reins, or never horse could throw him while his saddle girth would stand. He learned to ride while droving on the plains. And one there was a stripling on a small and weedy beast. He was something like a racehorse undersized, and the old man gave his orders, boys, guard up from the jump, for no such try for fancy riding now. And Clancy, you must wheel them, try to wheel them to the right. Ride boldly, lad, and never fear the spills, for never yet was rider that could keep the mob in sight, if once they gathered shelter of those hills. So Clancy rode to wheel them. He was racing on the wing, where the best and boldest riders take their place. And he raced the stock horse past them and made the rangers ring with stock whips as he met them face to face. And the old man muttered fiercely, we may bid them all good day, no man could hold them down the other side. When they reached the mountain summit, even Clancy took a pull. It might well make the boldest hold their breath. The wild hop scrub grew thickly, and the hidden ground was full of wombat holes, and any slip was death. But the man from Snow River let the pony have his head. He swung his stopper round and gave a cheer. Then he raced down the mountain like a torrent down its bed, while others stood and watched him very fear. He sent the flintstones flying, but the pony kept his feet. He cleared the fallen timbers in his stride, and the man from Snow River never shifted in his seat. It was grand to see the mountain horseman ride. Through the stringy barks and saplings on the rough and broken ground, down the hillside at a racing pace he went, and he never drew the bridle till he landed safe and sound at the bottom of the terrible descent. And he was right among the horses as they climbed the further hills, and the watchers on the mountains standing mute saw him ply his stock whip fiercely. He was right among them still as he raced across the clearings in pursuit. Then he lost them for a moment where two mountain gullies met, in the ranges where the final glimpse revealed. On a dim and distant hillside, the wild horses racing yet, with the man from Snow River at their heels. And he ran them single-handed till their sides were white with foam. He followed like a bloodhound on their track, till they halted, cowed and beaten, and he turned their heads for home, and alone and unassisted brought them back. But his hardy mountain pony he could scarcely raise a trot. He was blood from hip to shoulder from the spur. But his pluck was still undaunted and his courage fiery hot, for never yet was a mountain horse occur.
Yeah, Charlie, would you be able to let these guys know that you're the last car, please? Yep, will do. Thank you.
Same guys you saw yesterday.
Yeah, that's it.
நேத்து வந்தவங்களா?
Okay, let me see. Yeah, fine. Thank you. And she will go now.
Yeah, that is clear.
So this is the Murray River, and this is as low and as it normally is, and this is a pretty normal flow rate, so it's definitely not high or flowing fast. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have our windows down but our seatbelts on. Okay, and we're going to drive in down the ramp there till the water's near touching the tyres in second gear, low range. Okay? And we'll drive in, and following this kind of it, can you see the rapids here? You drive right around that arm. Okay? And then out. So you'll do a big U-turn in the middle. Okay? So even further out than he's driving. The water's only about this deep in the deepest, and all your cars are very capable of that. Just make sure you drive in just at idle, and when you drive out, just pause a little, just as your cars climbed out, nice and slowly, and keep driving out. No need to rush through. All right. So it's nice and slow, and one at a time. So when I drive through, I'll stand over on the little lookout on the bank over there, and I'll have the UHF radio, and each of you just come down and as that person starts to drive, the next one comes down and waits. Okay, and we'll be through here in 15-20 minutes, and then we'll go and have a break and lunch and yeah, farewells and all that. Okay. So, and there's a really nice place for lunch and a swim just down the river. Great Dubai Tours, thank you very much for coming along and booking on the tour and coming away with us, because I enjoy travelling with you guys as well, and that's why I do it. I do it to meet people and just enjoy the bush. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope everybody grabbed, I hope everybody took a little thing away from it.
Absolutely.
There's always something there for everybody, whether it's just a damper you liked or whatever, there's always something.
That was pretty cool.
A little burnt bit on the bottom.
Yeah,
No,
that's right.
But it's good to meet people and travel in the bush and just get away from our tech and our city houses and so on. We've got many other tours that run, so there's a big high country tour, and then there's the more expedition type, outback tours and outback icons and Kimberleys and Cape Yorks and things like that. And if you'd like any information about that, just give me a bell or hit me up with Messenger or Facebook or email or phone. Give me a text and I'll give you I'll give you information. Unbiased, totally unbiased. If you want to buy once, cry once for some accessory on your car or tyres or camping tip, call Vic or send Vic or myself a message or a text or an email, and we'll say, oh, buy this or that. So you're not buying something that's rubbish, you buy something that's good. Sometimes buy once, cry once out here doing this stuff. Because there's a lot of experience there that you can draw from.
I've wasted money on things you shouldn't buy, and now I've had to buy good things. If you want to go on a tour somewhere yourself with your friends, if you've got more than 4 cars, definitely give Jenny or Vic a call and say, hey, I've got a tour here. I've got a group of friends and we'd like to do a tour to such and such. You know, they might even say, hey, we could run that. Or the other thing that you can do is you could speak to myself or Vic and say, hey, I just want to go off and do a little jaunt around, these mountains, and might be places we say, oh, you've got to go to here, here, and here. That'd be great. There's a nice place to stay. So there's always tips that you could draw, and because you've already done a tour, I'm more than happy to give you some information, some insider knowledge. Okay, but yeah. Thanks a lot for coming on the tour. Thanks from Great Divide, myself, Vic and Jenny, and thanks Kylie for helping us out on the tour as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kylie.
First tour with
Kylie.
with Great Divide, just like many of yourselves, and hope to see you again.
Thanks, Ken.
Yes,
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.